Hey, how's it going, guys? Nero with you here once again, back after a bit. Although for me, I'll be quite honest, it has been quite a while, but I'll get to explain that in just a second. But we're back. Back for another campaign here, continuing our way through all of the leaders of Civilization 6, otherwise known as A to Z, or Y, Challenge. And yeah, so as I was saying here, I know that in between the end of our Basil II campaign and the start of our new campaign here with Catherine de Medici, Black Queen version, it has not been that much time in terms of video release, or at least I hope not, because who knows if I end up not releasing it on time again. But for me, it has been over a year, because that campaign that I released with Basil II was actually played over a year ago. I completed it last year, but then had to leave, so I couldn't get it out in time. But thankfully, everything was saved and ready to go, so I just started to release them when I got back. But yeah, I want to get into a flow of things, and of course kind of give an update on how we're going to go about continuing our challenge. I briefly discussed it at the end of our Byzantium game, but basically, I mean, as I said, I do want to continue. I know Civ 7 exists. I do not care. I do not own the game. Not super interested in it from what I've seen. Maybe down the road I'll get into it, but at the very moment I really don't particularly have interest in the game. But I do still have interest in this game. I do have interest in playing all these wonderful, amazing leaders with all their wonderful, amazing colors. And so we're going to continue chugging along. And next up is Catherine de Medici, but you'll notice that there's two versions of her. One is called the Black Queen, and one is called Magnificence. And I'll explain how we're going about playing these two, if we're even playing these two, and what words have been out of my brain removed now, things. How we're gonna, like, are we even going to play both of them? What does it mean for the challenge? But on top of that, what kind of game we want with this version compared to the other version. But to quickly answer your question, yes, I will be playing both Catherines. However, in the spirit of changing things up, I do not plan on playing Catherine de Medici Magnificence version immediately after this game. The way I said I would probably do it in the Basil videos was that after we finish this game, we'll skip ahead to Chandragupta of India, and then we'll get to Cleopatra Egyptian version. And then we will circle back to Catherine de Medici Magnificence. Kind of try and give a 2-game buffer in between each duplicate civ. And we'll do the same thing for Egypt. So once we finish playing Magnificence Catherine, I won't go to Ptolemaic Cleopatra. I'll go to Cyrus and then go back to Ptolemaic Cleopatra. And there's a few instances of this. Like Eleanor, I know that it's a different civ with England and France, but it is the same ability, so I will try to skip around this. On top of that, you're paired up with Elizabeth here, so the order here is going to get a bit wonky, but the gist is that we're going to continue to make our way down the list relatively chronologically, just with a few changes whenever I see needed, because for the sake of gameplay diversity. Like, even I think that even if I end up having like a few leaders who all do the same type of victory, I will either like force myself to get a different victory, or I will just simply like switch around the order to better play it. But yeah, in terms of what you can expect for videos, I mean, you can expect to see this series come out on normal schedule, just like I usually do with the campaign. When I started, I try to release a new episode every day until we're finished, but then there might be a buffer again between the different campaigns. However, I do feel confident in saying that there will not be a long break in between the next few campaigns, as I'm actually not going to be going anywhere for the first time in a while, so I'll have time to get some of these out I do hope to make a good amount of progress, because I mean, I don't want to be doing this for 10 years. I do want to eventually see an end, but I mean, yeah, I still feel great excitement and looking at all these leaders that we've got to play. So that's the short-term update. I'll be seeing quite a few videos, well, hopefully, as we continue through our campaigns. And yeah, I'm excited to get going. I mean, on top of that, we finally passed the monumental point in this whole series, where we have now gotten at least one of every. Okay, let me rewind a bit. We have gotten every single victory type once, starting with Alexander Domination, a Minotaur Score victory, and Bjork's we did Diplomatic. We went back to Abraham Lincoln and did Science, Batriu with Culture, and Basil II with Religion. And so now the order is thrown out the window. We're just going to basically do whatever I feel fits with the leader, whatever fits with what I want to do with the leader. There's a few unconventional ideas I have down the road with certain leaders based on their abilities. Eleanor of Aquitaine for France is one of them, but we'll talk about that when we get down there. In the meantime, we're going to, basically stick to what most of these civs do best. However, some civs with multiple leaders, such as France or Egypt, I will probably opt to do different victory types with each one of their leader options, just to see how the civ plays, can play differently based on the leader that you choose, or the persona of the leader that you choose. We're doing the same thing for America. I mean, like, for Lincoln, we did Science Victory. The other two Americas that we will play, the two Teddy versions, will not be a Science Victory. They will be different victory types. One that I haven't decided yet is with Basil, for the Byzantines. We did Religious Victory. I'm not quite sure that'll do Theodora with a different victory, but I mean, there's so much time till that I don't really need to think about that. But yeah, I'm gonna intend on doing different victory types based on the leader or persona that I choose. And that applies here to Miss Catherine de Medici. So let's talk about the game that we want to launch up here. So this is a civ I have played before. I mean, this is a civ from the base, like on release. This has existed since release. Maybe a few minor tweaks and buffs or debuffs have happened, but this is basically the kit that Catherine de Medici started with, back when there wasn't even separate personas. This is how you played France. This was the only French leader, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest fan of this. I don't hate it. I think it's just one of those civs that, unfortunately, in a game that's full of early game powerhouses, this is one of the few whose strong point comes in the middle, like around the Renaissance era, medieval Renaissance era. And I'll be honest with you, in this game, it's kind of a disadvantage to have all your strengths come out at that point, because at that point it very often is a bit too late. That's not to say that you can't do anything with Catherine. I do think that, I mean, this is not an awful leader. This is not an awful civ. I don't really think there is too many awful civs. I think they did a pretty good job towards the end of making sure that every civ has something going for them. But yeah, I mean, it's not amongst my favorites to play. I'm pretty indifferent to Catherine de Medici. But yeah, I do have a plan for her, though. I do have an idea of what I want to do this game. Now, France, all versions of France, including the alternate Catherine and including Eleanor, they are a cultural powerhouse. Their strength comes in culture, not just because of the chateau, which you can see gives culture, but I mean, she has a great way of generating tourism, which is a big thing for culture victories. So you can see Grand Tour. I mean, we'll talk about these abilities and describe how they'll work later, but Grand Tour and the Chateau as well play really well into a cultural victory. But that being said, because all versions of France are pretty good at culture victories, we're actually not going to do a culture victory with Catherine. We're going to aim for a diplomatic victory. And that's mostly based off her leader ability. So the way I'm kind of approaching playing this out is that with every version of the leader, I kind of want to highlight different things that play into the strength. It's just like how in our Basil game, we didn't really look at the drawman. Like, we had one or two, but we didn't highlight the power of the drawman. We more so focused on the tagmas and the hippodromes and the full combat strength we can accumulate. With Theodora, I think I will focus on a bit more naval battle, but I mean, there's so much time till Theodora, we don't need to talk about it. But that's just to kind of highlight how with every different version of a Civ, I do want to take a different approach at gameplay. And I'll go into details on how I'm going to play this game out once we get into the game, because I need to see the map first. Because Catherine doesn't have anything in the early game that she has to go for, we're going to have to make a decision based on our map, kind of the direction we want to take it in the early game. But we do want to set ourselves up to, in the mid game, be ready to use almost everything in this kit to our full advantage. The only one that I'm not going to particularly use too much is the Chateau. I will still be using them, but the other Catherine game we'll be doing is where I will be highlighting the Chateau much heavier. For this game, I'm mostly going to try and take advantage of the Garde Impériale. We're not going domination by any means, but we are going to play around city-state defense and ally defense, and so I'm hoping we can find somebody who's a bit more aggressive and have the ability to use the Garde Impériale. Otherwise, it's really not going to play into effect too much, so this is probably our best chance at using that. And Grand Tour will come into effect in the mid-game as well, because there will be wonders that we want to build that we will have extra production towards. With Grand Tour. But the big thing we're going to play around, just like how with Abe Lincoln we mostly played around his leader ability, we're going to play around Catherine's Flying Squadron, going to play around a lot of diplomatic visibility, a lot of spy gameplay. I think there's only like 3 leaders, I would say, that really encourage spy gameplay, and one of them I would barely even consider. I'll highlight them real quick. Just one of them is Kublai Khan. But specifically the Mongolian one. I guess Genghis Khan also. Where's Genghis? Because it's Mongolia's ability with the diplomatic visibility. You gain extra combat from diplomatic visibility, which I'll probably explain when we get in game. Even though it's not going to play a huge role in this game, it will play a much bigger role in like our Mongolia games. But with Mongolia, you are incentivized to use some spies because of diplomatic visibility advantages that you get. Both versions, Kublai Khan's version too. But the other one that gets spy kind of gameplay going on is Wu Zetian. Yeah, all offensive spies operate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, besides these leaders, Catherine being one of them, specifically Black Queen, we're really not going to get too much gameplay built and focused around spies, and so that is going to be kind of my focus this game, is building around a very good spy network, and just in general building a lot around diplomatic visibility, making sure that we have the max number of allies, making sure that we have trading posts all around, so we're going to be doing quite a bit of commercial hubs, and we also, because of that, enabled Secret Societies mode, and I'll explain what I want to get out of that in just a second. But yeah, the gist of this game is we're going to be using spies pretty extensively. We're going to be using diplomatic visibility pretty extensively. I'll explain those a bit more in depth in the game. And then Garde Impériale and Grand Tour I will try and have those play a pretty big role in this game. The Chateau not as much, but we'll still look at that. To say, I mean, of the two Catherines, I think I'm a little bit more interested in playing the other one, but this is still going to be an interesting game we have here. But of course, that will depend on the early game, and making sure that we survive, because unlike a lot of other civs, we just do not get any boosts or advantages in the early game. We have to make it to the mid game. And we need to make sure that we're in a good enough position in the mid game so that we're not just too far back and can't do anything. Because unlike most of our past games, war is not really how I'm going to approach this game. Yeah, let's look here at the settings that I have going on. So we're going back to a continents map. This is the first time we're not doing a unique map here. And I figured Catherine has a river spawn bias, but that's going to play more so into our next Catherine game. I'll probably do a wetlands map for that, but we're not super dependent on the terrain. We just basically kind of want a good amount of land. We don't care for naval interactions, so I don't want to completely eliminate it and keep ourselves stuck on a landmass in Pangaea. I do want some separation, so we're still going to do a continents map to give ourselves some kind of naval options. On top of that, when the Secret Society will choose, it will kind of benefit if we have some harbors. But besides the map type, everything is pretty much standard. I'm not changing the sea level, not changing the rainfall, not changing any of the settings here. Even resources, which I'll probably change in our Magnificence game. This game I'm probably not going to touch. Because the resource management is not our priority in this game. Is there any other settings I changed? Map is standard. I'm not removing or adding anybody. Difficulty Emperor, of course. And yeah, so all the settings, I'm really not touching anything. Nothing unique here, but we are enabling 2 game modes here. One of them is Secret Societies, coming for the second time. The first time we did it with a Blinken, and we used the Sanguine Pact for vampires. This time the plan is to get the Owls of Minerva, and I'll go more in depth on that in the game, but for those of you who do know the game, you'll know exactly why we want Owls of Minerva as Catherine de Medici, Black Queen. And we're enabling Barbarian Clans mode because I do plan on playing with city-states quite heavily, trying to generate a healthy amount of diplomatic favor this game, because, I mean, we are going for a diplomatic victory. And besides that, I think we're pretty much ready to go. This is, once again, as per usual, another case of me rambling for a long time. But that's the way I like it, and I hope that's the way you like it too. And so just looking at everything one last time. Difficulty Emperor. We got the game seed and the map seed, which will be in the description for you, with all the settings in case you want to try this out yourself, as per usual. And I'm ready to load in. Look at the map we're given, because that's going to be a big part of deciding how, like, what direction we go at the start. And yeah, trying out Miss Catherine de Medici, Black Queen. So let's go ahead and click Start Game. And of course, because my computer is a slow bum, this will take quite a few moments, so I'll have a chance to talk to you, at least until Mr. Sean Bean pops up, gives us a beautiful spiel, and then I will resume my blabbering. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. As I said, it has been a year for me between the last campaign and this campaign. And I'm excited to continue moving this along, because I do have the ambition of trying to complete everybody for you guys to see. And some challenges will be a lot more fun than others. I think this one should be interesting. I think I'll get quite an interesting use of Catherine compared to what normally she can do. Spy gameplay is really not something that I typically do, so it'd be interesting to see how I go about with that in this game. A lot of things that I don't typically think of or do that I will need to try and focus on here.
Of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. It falls to you, Catherine de Medici, to use your gifts of knowledge and of the arts to unite your people. Steer carefully through these troubled times, Queen Mother of France. You will build great wonders, drawing visitors from all corners of the earth. With your keen awareness of all things, both those seen and those hidden in the shadows, Your empire will certainly stand the test of time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bean. Yeah, so as I was saying, like her playstyle is really not something I usually go for. And in general, cultural civs, I'm not. Even though the cultural victory is the most interactive one, I mean, we're not even going for cultural victory. Cultural civs tend not to be amongst my favorites, but I don't particularly mind the French. This is not my favorite version of France. This might actually probably be my least favorite version of France. But again, I'm very interested to test out playing this civ in the way that I plan on playing her. I've only ever finished a game France once. They're not a civ I typically go for when I just want to play civ. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this map offers us. So I'm about to click begin game. We'll see what we get in store for this game. We'll talk about what Catherine de Medici, Black Queen, can do, what we're gonna do, and what will happen. So here we are. Just a quick little glance at this map. So we're by the coast, which I don't mind. I will be honest, the start is not great. A lot of weak tiles that I can see off initial start. On top of that, we're very close to tundra. Alright, we'll analyze our start in just a hot second. What I want to do is open up Catherine de Medici, Black Queen. I will just continue to refer to her as Catherine. I know that there's two Catherines, but for the sake of everyone, we're going to stop repeating it over and over. Alright, Catherine de Medici, Black Queen version. We have her leader ability, and this is, again, just with every other alternate leaders, this is the highlight of the civ, just because it inspires the way that we will play this civ compared to the other ways we will play it in our other games. So Catherine's Fine Squadron has one level of diplomatic visibility greater than normal with every civilization that she's met. Receives a free spy and extra spy capacity with the castle's technology, and all spies start as agents with the free promotion. Which just means all spies start with the free promotion. This is going to be this is going to be the main focus of our gameplay. But this is also going to be kind of complicated. Diplomatic visibility is kind of a complicated thing in this game. I'm going to try and simplify it to the best I can. There's also the factor that I myself am not super confident in the way it works, but I can do my best at trying to make it clear how diplomatic visibility works. But yeah, this is going to be the brunt of what inspires our gameplay. We're going to try to earn as much diplomatic visibility with everyone as possible. We're going to try to use our spy capacity to the max as possible. So I'm going to close this real quickly just to explain it real quick. Where's Wikipedia? Dip. Well, it might not even be a thing here. Oh wait, no, okay. Gossip, diplomatic visibility, detailed gossip based on this. So yeah, a main thing about this, but this is not really something that matters, is that we do get information about what civs are doing. The more diplomatic visibility we have with a civ, the more access to certain information we have. There is per level a breakdown of what information you get based on your diplomatic visibility. So yeah, there's 5 levels. You start with none, you get to limited, open, secret, and top secret. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. We want to, for the most part, get to top secret with as many of people as possible. It's not always going to be possible with everybody. I would like at the very least maybe an open or a secret. I think aiming to have secret with everybody would be a good goal to have. So, for example, when you just met a civilization, you will receive information about their declarations of war, denouncements, friendship, alliances, and when they do something like found a pantheon or complete a wonder. So, very basic stuff. This you find out basically without needing to do anything. Now, Catherine de Medici always, Black Queen anyway, starts with an extra level of diplomatic visibility, always with everybody. So you'll see here. Plays Catherine de Medici. She gives France 1 level of access above normal at all times with civilization she has met. So once we meet somebody, I believe we start immediately at limited rather than none. So that means if you gain limited diplomatic visibility, you will find out some information about their opinion of you and what government they have. At the open level, this is level 3, you will have access to that civilization's diplomatic agendas, their relationship with other civilizations, and know when they have launched an inquisition. Okay. Open is still level 3, right. You accumulate it individually for each civ. You will receive a combat bonus for having a higher level of visibility on your opponent than they have back on you. So this does play into some kind of combat potential, which I will be trying to get some advantage out of, but not for domination purposes, more so for defense and diplomatic purposes. And this aspect of diplomatic visibility plays more into Mongolia, who benefits off these combat bonuses quite a bit. Levels may be gained by accumulating various sources of gossip, including traders. So sending trade routes to other civs will help us gain. Will help us gain more diplomatic visibility. Delegation, of course. We want to try and remember to send everybody we meet a delegation, and establish embassies later on. Sending spies, which can raise our visibility by doing a listening post mission, which we will be doing quite a bit. And forming an alliance, which we want to aim to do with quite a lot of civs. One thing to note is we cannot spy on our allies, so we will try to ally those we can, and then spy on those we don't. Printing, which plays into science, and then that's about it. And then you also get like more details and information about like where their governors are, what they're building and constructing. You'll see it as the game goes on, basically. But yeah, this is going to be basically what we're playing around. And so I will continue to kind of point this out as the game progresses. Like when we meet someone, I'll probably talk about this again. But yeah, this inspires our gameplay quite heavily. Now everything else in this kit, basically, we're going to try and use to benefit this ability. So Grand Tour here, which is, a very simple ability, is just plus 20% production towards medieval, Renaissance, and industrial era wonders. And then for a cultural perspective, also tourism from those wonders. Tourism from wonders of any era is 100%. So, yeah, she can generate pretty good tourism purely from building wonders, which again I will try and do this aspect better in another game, but not this game. The main thing we're going to be using this for is trying to build the wonders that will give us, that will drive us towards the diplomatic victory, which I think we've discussed in the past in our Bjork's game. But those would be Forbidden City, which works because we also want to get the printing technology pretty soon. So we are going to have quite a science push, I would say, in this game. I think I do want an early campus. I actually don't think I'm going to go for a religion, interestingly enough. I am, because we want Mahabodhi Temple. But yeah, Forbidden Palace, Potala Palace, which is a... me no brain work. Forbidden City does not give a diplomatic victory point. I'm thinking of policy cards, which we also want, so we do want Forbidden City still. But Potala Palace does give a diplomatic victory point, just one. Then you have... what are you? Statue of Liberty, but that's in the culture civics tree. Statue of Liberty. Also, how appropriate that we as France want to build Statue of Liberty. No gift to the Americans this time. Here, civil engineering. So Statue of Liberty gives 4. which is a big boost. We definitely want to build that. And then I mentioned this already, Mahabodhi Temple, which gives 2. So for the purpose of building this wonder, I think we do want a religion. It's going to be a little hard district-wise here in the early game. I think I only want to build 1 holy site to give myself access to Mahabodhi Temple. But everything else is going to be campuses here in the early game. But yes, we do want to use this to build those wonders that give us diplomatic victory points. We also want to use them to build wonders that give us extra policies, like Forbidden City and like Big Ben. I think Big Ben is benefited by this, right? Big Ben is industrial, right? Yes, Big Ben is industrial. So any wonder in here, this does include Ruhr Valley and Oxford. I will probably try to build Ruhr Valley, maybe Oxford too, I'll be honest. We do want a pretty strong science game. Hopefully the map has delivered an option like that to us. Yeah, looking at a lot of these wonders, actually, I do want a lot of them. I want Potala Palace, I want Forbidden City. I do want Great Zimbabwe because I want pretty strong gold generation. And then this is medieval, so Alhambra. I mean, I don't particularly care for Alhambra, even though it does give us an extra policy. Kilwa would be fantastic. These 2 are not important. This one's not that important. So a few wonders I'm eyeing here on the tech tree. And I mean, I can never get Great Law, but that's also classical, so that doesn't matter. Medieval. Well, Semi-Shell would be appropriate, but I don't think that fits for this game. Angkor Wat, who cares? Taj Mahal will be good, as it always is. And then finally, well, we get bonus for Statue of Liberty, which is fantastic. And Hermitage, I mean, that's more for a culture game, but yeah, so I do have my eyes on a few of these wonders. So we will be taking advantage of this ability, hopefully, with some of the wonders you want to build. Now, the unique unit that France gets, all French civs have the same unit. It is the Garde Impériale. French unique industrial era melee unit that replaces line infantry, plus 10 combat strength when fighting on your capital's continent. Great general points for killing units. This is something that I do want to take advantage of in this game that I don't think I will take advantage nearly as much in the other 2 games of France we play. As I said, usually in my diplomatic games I like to kind of be basically like a world police, and if I have a civ I'm playing that gives me a solid unit to use, I want to use them as that world police. We did kind of the same idea with Ambiorix. The one thing is that I did not enable Dramatic Ages mode. Hallelujah. You all remember I'm not a huge fan of that game mode, and we've had 3 games already with that game mode. But I did not enable it this time just because we're going to be mostly using this against civs. I hope. I'm really crossing my fingers that there's some kind of tyrannic civ in this game that we can kind of band with the world and go against. I'm hoping for maybe 2. But yeah, I think it'll be a bit of a slow game here because a lot of these benefits don't kick in until later in the game, and we don't want to run away with anything before we can take advantage of them, but we also want to keep up, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anything to highlight about the Garde Imperiale besides this? I mean, the plus 10 combat strength on our capital's continent, that does mean we actually don't want necessarily to go onto other continents too much. I mean, this unit is not the greatest. It's just every civ gets a unit, so I understand, but like this does not fit really with the rest of the kit for any French leader, I'll be honest. So we're going to try to take advantage of it as much as we can this time so that I don't feel inclined to take advantage of it again. It's not the greatest unit. Of all the unique units we've had through our games, this might be amongst the weakest ones. Trying to even think, I don't know if we've even had a weak unit up until this point. Drummond is okay. This one is, the issue is that in this game, you mostly want benefits early on, and having your unique unit take action in the mid to late game sometimes is just too late. So yeah, it's not the greatest. And then we have the Chateau, which is the unique building that France gets. We will not be really using this too much. I will build a few of them down the line, but it gives +2 culture and +1 gold, also +1 appeal, which is big for culture games. +1 culture for every adjacent wonder, and after flight is researched, that's +2. +2 gold if on a tile containing a river edge, so if we build this on a river, then just an extra +2 gold. And then provides tourism from culture that it receives once flight is unlocked. Must be placed adjacent to a bonus or luxury resource, cannot be built adjacent to another chateau. So looking at the map, if we wanted to, I believe we could build one here. I believe, well, we can't build them next to each other, but we could build one here. So I guess 1 and 2, because it's next to the cattle, which is bonus, next to T, which is luxury. And they don't have to be next to a river, but I basically always want to place them next to a river. And then you want, remind me, I believe it is luxury resources, right? +1 culture for every adjacent wonder. Oh no, it's just wonder. Okay, so it's not. It doesn't even gain benefits from being next to a luxury resource. Yeah, not ideal. It will come into effect a lot more when we do the other version of Catherine. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that we picked the white and gold colors for this, which is actually the alternate Catherine's default skin. In the spirit of trying to change up to a skin that's not the default skin of who we're playing, we're gonna basically switch it around. I do like this color though. The gold is great. So this is one of my favorite skins, I would say, to use. I mean, that's basically the gist of France. It's really not a complicated civ. I mean, this part's a little more complicated than the rest, but everything else here is pretty straightforward. It's not something, I mean, you don't see giant walls of text like you did with Byzantium. Like, I think the Taxis ability for Byzantium was like triple the length of this. So I mean, when you have an ability like this that's like pretty passive, that you don't really need to think about, you just need to adjust your gameplay around it, then it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, let's look at our game here. I have been blabbing as per usual for a long time. It's been about 36 minutes. So yeah, the start here is not ideal. If I were another version of France, I would actually consider building Stonehenge. I almost never recommend building Stonehenge, but I mean, in the spirit of trying to do things differently with every different game, I do want to build Stonehenge at some point. That being said, early game wonders are not as important as late game wonders for us, or mid-late game, I would say. So I don't think I'm going to bother wasting a space for Stonehenge. I think we're just going to rush a holy site first district. But we do want campuses is the thing. So we want a few settlers here early. It's going to be a little complicated trying to get everything we want in the early game. This also assumes we don't run into an aggressive neighbor. I'm just looking around trying to figure out where I want to settle. We don't really have good options. I think if I'm going to move off this woods because that's a 2-2 tile I'm killing. It'll just be 2-1. Because it's a plains, or not plains, grassland hills. If you're going to settle on hills, you want it to be plains, because it'll give you an extra production. And I figure because I'm moving off, I mean, I could move up here. I just want the warrior to see what's on the outer ring here, because I could move across the river here and settle next to the T. But that means I'm closer to the tundra, which I'm not super keen on. Moving here next to the cattle, the issue is that I only have one production tile, which granted, same thing if I move here. The difference is not much, actually. The thing is that moving to either of these two tiles, like if I move one here, I'm just kind of killing this riverbed, I would say. Like everything will be around. I mean, it's not awful. And I could have a pretty good industrial zone here, actually, if I move here and then place the industrial zone here. But I think I'll get the same end result from it if I just move to the coast. Like if I'm going to move off this woods towards the eastern direction, I might as well just go settle on the coast anyway, so we can set ourselves up with a harbor. And I mean, one thing I forgot to explain is the secret society that we're going to go for, which is the Owls of Minerva. once I unlock them, and I will explain more what my plan is with them. But looking at this, I think I've decided that I'm going to settle on the second turn and do it on the coast. This will give me a 2/2 tile off the bat, another 2/2 tile, which we will expand to, and it'll give me a good harbor, commercial hub. We do want campus and holy site. I need to remember that. This could be a government plaza city, but let's just go ahead and move here. Oh, we got turtles. Okay, that's really nice. That'll be a nice tile to work when we build it up. So I'm happy with that decision. Let's go ahead and end turn 1, 40 minutes after the start of this video. Just want to grab vision. I'll go up on the hill, see what the tundra's like. We have silver. So we have tea, silver. I think turtles counts towards it, does it not? I don't remember how sea luxuries work. Let's go ahead and found our coastal capital of Paris. Boost for sailing, and we immediately work the 2/2 tile here, which is nice to start. Now I want to explore pretty extensively early here, so I'm probably going for 2 scouts to begin. It will be a bit unfortunate if we're close to someone and I'm forced to go more military, but for as much as I can get away with it early here, I kind of want to go more economical. So I want to go 2 scouts. We'll probably get the settler right after that. I don't really want to delay settlers. And so, yeah. Now, the path of the tech tree. I'm actually going to end the episode here probably after this turn. The path we want to go on the tech tree. So we do want a holy site. We want a religion. I'm not really going to be building up my faith extensively. The main thing is we just want a place to be able to build Mahabodhi Temple. Which does mean I will probably put the holy site here. Or here. That way I can actually gain something from it for adjacency. I mean, I can honestly just kind of plan this already. So this could be a dam. This could be industrial zone. This could be campus. This will be a lake campus is the thing. This can be a harbor. This can be a commercial hub. And holy site. Thing is I want Apadana. But then I'm really not going to have much space for wonders. That's the thing with settling coastal, right? I mean, I will be able to build Colossus, which I will want. But we do want Apadana. We also want Forbidden City. We also want Potala Palace. We also want Big Ben. Okay, so maybe this isn't my government plaza city. I need more space for a government plaza city. The issue, I wanted to do Great Zimbabwe here because we do actually have quite a few bonus resources. Something I never really confirmed for myself is how does Great Zimbabwe work? Great Zimbabwe, where are you? There you are. Alright. Extra trade capacity. Trade routes from the city. Get +2 gold for every bonus resource within 3 tiles of the city and in the city's territory. So just in the city's territory, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I mean, we got all the stone. Got that. I do kind of like the idea of Great Zimbabwe here, but I might find another place for it. In the meantime, I'm gonna just place dam here. It's either going there or there. I guess I could do holy site here. If I have to, I can chop this wood and put Apadana here, or I could do Apadana here. Nothing's stopping me from doing that. We'll figure it out. But this is the gist of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 districts, so we want the city up to 1, 4, 7, 10, 13. We want it up to 13. Theater squares are not as pressing for me. I will be building theater squares, but that's more for culture generation rather than tourism. Okay, let's go ahead and finally select. So what do we want first? We want the holy side of the campus. In this city, I mean, I won't reach the campus. I need money for that. But I do want to make 1 or 2 cities that can build campuses immediately. So with that in mind, also got to discover horses, but I'm worried we have horses, which isn't bad per se, but I planned things already, so I'm gonna work astrology. We don't need a builder quite yet, so we can start an astrology and then like switch to something else on the way. So let's go ahead and end this turn, this very long turn 2. I would wait for the scout to pick this up, but I actually want to see if this gives me something good immediately, and it gives me a free scout, which is awesome. I think I'm still gonna go for 2 scouts production in the city. Also, let me just hide the pins. Having 3 scouts is not a bad idea whatsoever here. We want to discover quite a lot of things. Potential for pyramids, which is nice. And yeah, I'm gonna end the episode after this turn. Sorry, a lot of blabbing, but I think I'm able to kind of work through my head what direction I want to take this. Alright, so we found Void Singers, but we're not going to be taking Void Singers. I will break down our secret society once we find it. Who do we want to take first? I think I'm not even going to finish this turn. We have a governor, and the first thing I'm going to do next turn is decide what governor I'm taking. This is just pretty long for a first episode, a little bit longer than I usually like it to be. So, I mean, you're used to it at this point. This is nothing new. I like to blab and discuss on the first episode, and I think I've done that well here. I think I know the direction we're taking this. We kind of set ourselves goals of what needs to happen here early, and this is going to be an interesting game where we need to set up ourselves early so that later in the game we can really kind of take off. So yeah, I hope I've explained my my thought process well enough to know what direction this game is going to go in, but it will be in fact on this note where I will say thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, go ahead and like the video, and if you like to see where this game of Black Queen Catherine de Medici of France goes, then go ahead and hit subscribe. Until the next episode, I will see ya.